Hey YouTubers, make sure you click subscribe below. We're in week 16 of the NFL season and we're going to do our Thursday night triple threat episode, Saturday edition. We got 3 games on the slate, just like Thanksgiving, so sit back, crack a cold one with us, and enjoy the show.
Fantasy Football League isn't an option. We present to you Triple Coverage Podcast.
Coming to you live from TCP Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada, Jay Up and James Up are your co-hosts for everything fantasy football related. So sit back, crack a cold one, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Triple Coverage Podcast. Welcome to week 16 of our Thursday night triple threat episode.
You made it.
Hopefully in your championship. You have to pause it, dude.
No, dry oatmeal.
Wow, dry oatmeal.
I don't pause it when I got a cough.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Wow. Okay, well, I won't cough into the microphone, but
Thank you.
If I sound kind of scratchy, it's because I'm getting over a cold. That's the holiday season. It is what it is. We're going to get through this triple threat episode. It's going to be a Saturday edition. And I am your co-host, Jay Up. You can find me on Twitter at TripleCodeJ. Introduce yourself.
I am the other co-host. My name is James. You can find me at TripleCodeJames on Twitter as well. I will take over here for right now. So you had the New York Jets, Jay, at the Baltimore Ravens. Everyone knew it was going to be an absolute shellacking, and it was. They did not disappoint. The only question was, how long was Lamar Jackson going to play, and can you trust him enough, if he did only play a half, to start him in your first round of your playoffs? Most people did, and you were not disappointed because he absolutely destroyed as usual.
They should have pulled him way earlier.
I agree.
It was ridiculous.
I agree they should have pulled him earlier. Robert Griffin did come in. We actually had a wall bet on how many points we think Robert Griffin was going to score.
Yeah.
Over-under was 6. He ended up getting 1 because he didn't come in and kneel down, but he came in and ran a couple of plays, threw, I think, 1 or 2 passes at the most. Yeah, 1. And so, yeah.
Incomplete, too.
He didn't do much. So, again, Lamar Jackson had a great game. Here's my only questions here. Who's going to beat Baltimore at home in the playoffs? Can New England Patriots or the Chiefs are the 2 teams that have the best chance? Do you see if they keep winning out, they're going to have home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs?
Right.
Can someone go into Baltimore and beat this Baltimore team right now?
Kansas City's the only team, I think.
Oh, not even
I don't think New England can.
Because of offensive...
They just don't have enough firepower. They have nothing on offense. New England does.
So if New England does get by the first round and then has to go to Baltimore, you think Baltimore rolls them and then plays Kansas City?
Yes.
Wow. I can't say I disagree, but it's just so hard to bet against New England in the playoffs.
Kansas City's defense is playing better than they were at the beginning of the season. And their offense...
Are you telling me, though, Belichick can't come up with a game plan after already playing Baltimore once, which is a huge advantage? This is to be the second time they played them. You're telling me he can't come up with a game plan to say, under no circumstances do we let them beat us on the ground. If he wants to pass for 400 yards, then damn, Lamar Jackson just threw for 400 yards and we lost the game. But how do you not just absolutely stack the box and play every receiver one-on-one? You're talking Marquise Brown, Willie Snead, and a bunch of tight ends. Like, I don't get it.
He has 33 passing touchdowns.
Okay, that's fine, but...
He leads the NFL.
That's fine. Passing touchdowns, but the yards are coming on the ground to get inside the 10, and then he's getting a lot of these dink and dunk touchdowns. It's not like he's throwing for 400 yards. He's throwing for like 200 yards a game or less, and he's throwing 5 touchdowns. It's because the running game is getting them all the way down there, and then they pass. So that's a little misleading. Not to shit on him. I'm not trying to downplay him. He's playing great, playing fantastic. But if you're New England, stack the box, make them throw. It seems pretty simple, but I guess it's a lot easier said than done. On the other side of things, Jay, Jamison Crowder and Robbie Anderson. I want to talk about these 2 guys. They've given me troubles the entire season. I wanted to ask you, though, because Robbie Anderson's in a contract here. I believe Jamison Crowder's a free agent after this year as well, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think
he might have one more.
He's signed with the...
Okay, so he's with the Jets.
Yeah.
Moving forward in a dynasty league, Robbie Anderson or Jamison Crowder? Both 26 years old. Both turn 27. Robbie Anderson turns 27 in May. Crowder turns 27 in June. So pretty much the same age.
PPR league, Jamison Crowder.
PPR league, Jamison Crowder?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's going to be a security blanket.
So so for the season so far, Jamison Crowder, 104 targets. Robbie Anderson, 85 targets. Crowder's got 66 catches. Robbie Anderson's got 47. Yardage, though, Crowder, 708. Robbie Anderson, 728. Crowder, 5 touchdowns. Robbie Anderson, 4 touchdowns. They're pretty much identical in everything except for receptions.
Yeah, but here's the thing, is that Robbie Anderson's a free agent and they let him walk.
Right.
Say they draft another receiver in the draft coming up and they let Robbie Anderson walk. It's going to depend on where he goes. Like, do I think he's talented enough to go out and buy him? Yes, but it's like one of those tricky situations where if you're in Dynasty League...
Like, I would say he goes like the Colts.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he goes somewhere that has like a high-powered passing offense, then yeah, he could be a lot better than he is with the Jets.
You put him on New Orleans?
What if he goes to a run-first team, though?
Right.
And now it's like, cool. Like, now he's right back in the same situation where they want to run the ball.
Maybe Baltimore, he's super fast and he's a deep threat. You have him and Marquise Brown, and now all of a sudden he's a number 2 on Baltimore. I mean, that can possibly throw deep.
To me, Robbie Anderson's a buy. In Dynasty because you can get him for pretty cheap. Jamison Crowder is a hold for me because you're not going to get a first for him.
No.
And you're not going to go out and try to get him for a second either. So it's like he's one of those guys where to me he's a hold.
He's on the fence.
I think he's just safe. I think Crowder's safe. To whereas Robbie Anderson's a guy that I'd be willing to go out and try to buy and see how cheap I could get him. And then just wait and see where he ends up.
Yeah, it's just
hope that he doesn't re-sign with the Jets.
It's a hard time to buy Robbie Anderson right now because of the last 2 to 3 weeks that he has played. Everyone just looks at that and they're saying, "Why am I going to get rid of this guy? He's 26 and he can go to a team like you just said. What if he goes to Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
New Orleans,
yeah,
to be the number 2 to Michael Thomas.
And then Le'Veon Bell, 21 carries, 87 yards, and he only got 2 targets. I don't know if the Jets know this, but he can catch. He can. You're down the whole game by 20 points or more, and Le'Veon Bell, who's caught 100 balls before in a season, gets 2 targets. You're down 20 points. What is the excuse there of why they're not getting the ball in Le'Veon Bell's hands?
This is Adam Gase.
Sucks, dude. I'm sorry, but this is so now you have Le'Veon Bell and the Jets are going to play Pittsburgh this coming week. Is this a revenge game for Le'Veon Bell, or is it a revenge game for the Pittsburgh Steelers to say, you think you're going to leave us and get better, we're going to make sure that you look terrible? I can't wait to see that game.
I think it's going to be a revenge game for Bell. I think he wants to show out. I think he's got to go to the coach and be like, look, give me the damn ball this game. Like, I want the ball. I need to show Pittsburgh that they made a mistake.
Well, I can't wait to see that. Anything else you want to add to the Baltimore Jets?
No,
42-21.
It is what we thought it was.
Nothing to see here. All right, let's move on to the morning games, Jay.
Yes.
Morning game on Saturday is going to be the 9-5 Houston Texans at the 7-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The line right now is Houston favored by 3 points. The over-under is 50.5, so they definitely think it's going to be high scoring, and there's a lot of reason to believe that is true because Jameis Winston is a league leader right now in passing yards at 328 yards a game going against the 30th ranked pass defense for the Houston Texans.
Yes.
On the other side of the ball, Deshaun Watson is 10th in the league in passing, and he is playing against a 28th ranked pass defense. So 28th versus 30th, 2 top 10 quarterbacks. We're about to see some fireworks here.
Shootout City. I love the over in this game because neither team can stop anybody. Mm-hmm. And the only drawback to betting Tampa Bay at home is that you have no Mike Evans and you have no Chris Godwin. So you're literally going to be stuck with Rashad Perriman, Justin Watson, and if Scotty Miller...
Because he got hurt.
So if Scotty Miller's healthy, that's going to be their 3 receiver sets.
That actually brings me to my first question for this game for you. Who could you play at wide receiver at Tampa Bay, or on Tampa Bay's team, going into the championship game? Who do you trust?
Oh, absolutely Perriman.
Big trust?
I mean, they clearly have a rapport.
You have big trust, though, or no?
In Perriman?
Yeah.
Yes.
Big trust. Wow.
Yes.
Rashad Perriman, Jay, this last game, 6 targets, 5 catches, 113 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Again, that he's the only one that I would consider starting, but I just don't feel great about starting Rashad Perriman, who couldn't even make Baltimore Ravens team for 4 years in a row. He's on the practice squad and just did nothing. I just don't trust him, so that's going to be a tough one for me to start. But without those 2 guys that you mentioned, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, that is, on average per game, 17 targets up for grabs, 220 air yards up for grabs.
How do
you not play O.J. Howard?
If you owned Godwin or Evans and you were able to get Perriman on the waiver wire, you absolutely have to play him in your
in that case, yes, but I don't want to start him over the other guys that got me. Okay, for example, Kenny Golladay. I want to bench Golladay because he's playing at Denver, but Golladay could be the guy to come out and get 2 touchdowns right away. And it's like you're going to tell me 3 weeks ago Rashad Perriman or Kenny Golladay you would have said, come on, like that's not even a thing. Now it's actually a possibility that you might have to make that
That's
decision.
the problem when you get to the end of the season, though, because it's
Right.
like all these
Injuries.
guys start coming out of nowhere, and they're like these waiver wire heroes that win you your leagues, and injuries start happening. And,
So
and
Brashad
teams
Perriman's
are
a league winner.
eliminated.
He's a potential league winner for you.
I think he is,
Okay.
especially with those two guys out that we just talked about.
I'm not completely against it. I just have a hard time pulling the trigger on that. And if you don't have a hard time pulling the trigger on that, then you have bigger balls than me. And yeah,
I love Hopkins in this game though too, because I think the Texans are going to throw.
Sure.
They're not going to be able to run. If Fuller's healthy, yeah, like Will Fuller too.
I mean, even semi-healthy last week, he had 11.5 points.
Right.
Semi-healthy. Tampa Bay, Jay, though, is number 1 against the run. Their run defense is number 1 in the league, 73 yards a game on the ground. So do you trust Carlos Hyde or Duke Johnson in this game?
I don't trust Carlos Hyde in this game, especially even though kudos to him, he went over 1,000 yards. You know that?
Yeah.
He was like left out for dead. Like they were just like Carlos Hyde, take him, whatever.
Do you remember at the start of the season, I was trying to make a big case for Carlos Hyde having a big year, and not as big as years I thought he was going to have. But I kept saying, like, what did he do on Cleveland to basically just get shipped off to nothing and then didn't have a job for a minute? And I'm thinking, Carlos Hyde can't be a starting running back right now. Like, it's not like he just fumbles all the time. He can catch if you need him to. He's a bigger guy, so you don't have to take him out on the goal line. Like, he just seemed to me like a younger version of Frank Gore. He's a steady Eddie guy that's going to get you the what you need to win every week. He's never going to have a complete 0, but he's never going to get you 40. He's one of those guys that you can plug into your flex and usually most of the time just plug and forget.
He's a flex guy, but I don't know if I trust him in this spot.
I don't.
The championship game and going against a good run defense. Like, the way to beat Tampa's through the air.
Too much passing going on here for him to go over 100 yards.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Next game?
Next game. Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots.
10-4 Buffalo against 11-3 New England. This is potentially for the division.
This could be for the division. I don't know all the tiebreakers. Clearly, the Patriots won the first game, so if Buffalo wins the second, I think it goes to
division record,
and then after that, it goes to out of conference. Yeah.
Oh.
So
we'll have to crunch those numbers later.
I want to say Buffalo plus the points in this one because right now New England's favored by 6.5, and the owner's 38.5. They both have a great defense, which we just saw Buffalo's defense against Pittsburgh on Sunday night. They look good. I don't know what it is. They're not flashy. They're not like gonna ever wow you. Like, wow, did you see that? Like, it's just there's like a good, hardworking team.
They're a good team.
I would love to see them beat the Patriots and just make it interesting.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Defensive battle, like you just mentioned, is what I wrote down. Points allowed. New England first in the league, 12.9 points a game they're giving up. Buffalo, Jay, second in the league, giving up 15.9 points. So first versus second. Total yards, New England's first in the league. Buffalo, third in the league. Versus the pass, New England's second. Buffalo, third. Against the run, New England's 7th. Buffalo is 10th. They're in the top 10 of every single category on defense. So again, it looks like it's going to be a defensive battle. But look at this versus the pass, Jay. Buffalo, like I said, they're third. They're only giving up 190 yards in the air, and New England's giving up 170. Like, my question to you, you're in your fantasy championships, maybe super flex or what. Let's say it's a super flex league, and you have Tom Brady and you have Josh Allen. Which one do you trust here more in this position? Who do you put big trust in?
I think
Josh Allen on the road.
I think I trust Josh Allen more, and the only reason I say that is not so much because he's a better quarterback than Brady fantasy wise, is because he gets you those extra yards in the running.
I knew you were
and not only that, but if they get down to the 2. They're not going to punch it in with Devin Singletary. Like they're going to let Allen hold the ball and get a quarterback sneak, whereas Brady doesn't really do that much.
Yeah, unless it's on the half-inch line.
But yeah, he barely has to sneak it in.
Number 1 versus number 2 in almost everything, or number 2 versus number 3 in almost everything. I don't love either one of these guys, so I have another spot where I'm in the championship round, and I have Mitchell Trubisky playing. I'm going to have to start Trubisky over Tom Brady because I'm not starting Tom Brady against the Buffalo Bills for my championship.
I would rather start Trubisky over
Who's Trubisky playing?
The Chiefs.
Oh, for sure.
And they're in Chicago.
For sure, I'm starting Trubisky. Big trust in Trubisky.
So right now, it's funny you say that because right now Buffalo gives up the second least fantasy points to the quarterback position, and then New England gives up the least amount of points to the fantasy position.
Dang. I mean, it's they're number 1 and 2 in almost everything that San Francisco is not number 1 or 2 in. What about this one? How about Devin Singletary, Jay, or Sony Michel? Who do you trust more to win your championship? Michelle last week had 89 yards on the ground, finally, almost broke 100 yards. Devin Singletary had 8.9 points as well against Pittsburgh. So they both had right about the same points last week.
I would, if I had to pick one of those guys, I don't feel comfortable either one, but if I had to pick one, I would say Devin Singletary. And the only reason why is because they'll throw the ball to him. Not a lot. He doesn't get like 8-9 targets a game, but they'll throw to him some on the screens, whereas they don't throw to Michelle.
Yeah.
They use James White specifically for that. And even Burkhead.
Yeah, anyone but Sony Michelle.
So it's Michelle's only going to get what he's given on the ground, and if he happens to fall into the end zone, where I don't think Devin Singletary is going to light up the scoreboard with a bunch of touchdowns either, but he can get you points in the passing game and running game.
I agree. I would go with Singletary as well. Last one I have is John Brown or Julian Edelman for your championship round. Who are you playing? John Brown with more confidence or Julian Edelman, Jay?
I trust Edelman more because I think that John Brown is going to have Gilmore.
For sure he will.
So if that's the case, Gilmore, they're not even throwing Gilmore's way at this point of the season. They're completely avoiding him. I think he's going to be all over John Brown.
Tried last week and he took it down to the house.
Yeah. So to me, I trust Edelman more, even though he's slightly banged up. If Edelman wasn't injured, it wouldn't even be a question. I would take Edelman.
But John Brown, up until like the last week or two, had been a wide receiver 1 for like 7 weeks in a row span. Edelman has been 10 points or more every single week up until last week. He plays the Cincinnati Bengals and gets 2.
Right.
I mean, that was your first round or second round of the playoffs, and he got you 2 points.
Could have watched the game, yeah. Especially
I played against him, and the guy that I played against had him, and I was like, okay, Edelman's good for at least 10 or 12. And in fact, I'm like, wow, he only got 2.5 points.
Yeah, it was bad.
So, but now he's playing a tougher defense.
And he's going to have Tre'Davious White probably on him.
So I don't, again, another spot where I don't love either guy, but if you have that decision, I guess I go Edelman over John Brown just because of the targets, I guess. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason. Okay. Anything else you want to add to Buffalo, New England?
No, that's it for that.
Move along to the Saturday night.
Saturday night. It's a 5:15 game Pacific time. It's the Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are actually favored by 6.5 points, and the over-under is 45.
Yeah. You have the 8-6 Rams versus the 11-3 Niners.
And I think, did they get eliminated by... No, they didn't get eliminated
yet. Rams are not eliminated yet.
Not eliminated yet. So this is a must-win for both teams.
Depends on what Minnesota does going forward, and who's the other NFC team is still in it? Well, Green Bay is one of those two is going to win the division. So one of those is going to be a wild card. Whoever doesn't win the division.
It's a Seattle or San Fran.
Oh, yeah.
So right now, San Fran's in the 5 spot because it's between San Fran and Seattle. So that San Fran, that's why they need to win.
Correct.
Because you're looking at either the number 1 seed or the number 5 seed.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
And now you're going on the road. Yeah,
home field throughout or not. But here's the thing that I want to see for this game in particular. Obviously, it's division rivals. Obviously, the Rams don't want to let San Francisco beat them, and they just went to the Super Bowl last year and got crushed. So you know that the pride's on the line here. But LA is coming off a blowout loss against Dallas. And San Francisco is coming off a heartbreaking last-second, Julio Jones touchdown. Who comes out more on fire this game? The Rams after getting blown out and embarrassed, or San Francisco saying, we blew that game last week, so we're going to make sure that we go pedal to the metal against the Rams?
San Fran. I don't see San Fran losing 2 weeks in a row. And not only that, but all 3 of their losses have been on a last-second play.
Right.
Like literally a last-second touchdown, last-second field goal.
Ravens, yeah.
And the Seattle Seahawks game in overtime, like everything's been on a last-second play. So they've been in every single game. Mm-hmm. And I can't say the same about the Rams.
No.
Because they weren't even close. I know the final score looked a little bit closer last week with Dallas, but it was literally like 28-7 halfway through the third, and then Dallas just put the pedal to the metal, and they gave up a couple garbage touchdowns at the end.
I thought maybe they would come out after getting embarrassed and then maybe, just say, hey, look, we're a lot better than this. And
I don't think they have the firepower to do it. I think that Jared Goff is a different quarterback on the road.
I think Jared Goff is hurt.
You think?
Yeah.
When you watch him play,
I will bet you in the offseason, I'll bet you anything you like. What'd you like? You didn't even do the thing yet, huh? The punishment.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the last game, so I guess when are you going to do it?
We'll do it when we pick our players.
Okay. Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine. No, I see, just like with Cam Newton, when I could tell something was wrong, and then he had off-season surgery, something is wrong with Jared Goff. He looks hurt. I'm listening to the game on the radio. I'm not even watching on TV. And the announcer's like, wow, really underthrown ball, really overthrown ball. Man, that wasn't even close. And then literally the announcer's like, I'm not sure what's going on here, but just so the listeners at home can understand, Jared Goff is not being pressured. He has no one in his face, and he just made 3 really bad underthrown, overthrown, and way off to the side, uncatchable balls that are going to these guys as targets, but they're not even giving them a chance. So,
well,
I just think that when I got home and started watching the end of the game, I'm like, wow, they're right. Like, he looks like something's not right.
Here's the thing, though. If you watch him at home and then watch him on the road, it looks like two different quarterbacks.
Okay.
And I don't know why. I mean, maybe he is injured and we just don't know. But he looks like a different quarterback when he's at home and when he's on the road. This is his second road game in a row, so I completely think that he will crap the bed. I think that he's going to have a terrible game.
Okay.
And it's going to fall on Goff's shoulders.
What receivers for the Rams?
I'll start with this.
Okay, what receivers for the Rams do you trust? Last week, snap count, they ran 73 plays. Robert Woods played every single snap. Cooper Kupp played 67 of the 73 snaps. Then Brandon Cooks played 52. And Josh Reynolds played 26.
Yeah.
Who do you trust in this game in order? 1, 2, 3, 4, the Rams receivers.
Woods
1.
Kupp.
So just like it is.
Uh-huh.
And then Cooks and then Reynolds?
Yeah, those guys are nothing in this game.
Cooks and Reynolds is nothing.
Wouldn't play them, yeah.
Wouldn't play him. But you would play Kupp.
Yes.
Man. Okay, I think I agree. I'm definitely not playing Cooks or Reynolds, even though Cooks could at some point have a breakout game. I'm just not willing to put my my championship on the line.
I put
Higbee over Cooks.
ahead of those guys, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I would too. I think Higbee is definitely cemented himself in as a pretty good choice for your tight end.
Yeah, Gerald Everett.
He could be a league winner.
Yes.
Higbee at the tight end position.
Yeah.
On the San Francisco side, who do you put big trust in more? Mostert started the game, but here's how it ended up breaking down. Mostert played 53% of the snaps. Tevin Coleman played 30%. Matt Breida played 19%. Here was the difference. Mostert, 14 carries. Coleman and Breida combined for only 8 carries. Mostert got 2 targets and 1 carry inside the 10-yard line. Coleman also had a carry inside the 10-yard line. So of these 3 guys, you have the LA Rams, Jay, are 23rd against the run.
Yeah.
They're 23rd. So they're going to give up yardage on the ground. Who do you trust to play in your championship week? Just Mostert, or do you even trust him?
Mostert a little bit. Little bit.
Like flex?
Yes. It's a committee. It's a full-blown committee.
Full-blown committee between Mostert. Yeah, but you're not playing Coleman and Breida.
No.
By any means. So
No.
the only guy is Mostert.
Yes.
And then San Francisco on the other side is 21st against the run. Do you trust Gurley?
No. San Fran gives up the 3rd least fantasy points to the running back position. 3rd least.
So you're not but they're giving up 115 yards on the ground. So if you're saying that Gurley is going to get 80% of those yards, you're looking at an 80-yard to 90-yard game for Gurley without any kind of targets or any kind of catches.
I don't trust Gurley this week. I'm glad I don't have him because I have to play him and I don't like him.
I'm in a championship week actually against you, Jay, in a tight end premium league, and I have Gurley, but I have 5 running backs to start from. David Montgomery, I have Le'Veon Bell, I have Gurley, I have Josh Jacobs, and
gotta hit the right one.
And Devontae Freeman. I was looking at your team, and your team is got probably the 20 best players in the league. So I don't know who you're gonna play. Honestly, I looked at your team. I'm like, okay, he could play. You could play 4 tight ends this week because it's a tight end premium league.
Yeah.
I know you wouldn't, but I'm looking at your running backs. I'm like, okay, which one of these 2 guys are going to sit? And if you sit one of those, you have to play 3 receivers. I know what 3 receivers you're playing because you have 3 really good ones.
I have to play 3 receivers though. I don't want to.
But you have 3 really good ones: in Beckham, Kupp, and Michael Thomas. So those 3 are your guys you're starting no matter what. But your running backs are deeper than the ocean, and then you also have all these tight ends and a tight end premium. So you're going to have to make that decision. My decision and my only decision is what running backs I'll play.
Yeah.
Because I picked wrong. I don't know how I made it to the championship game because I think I picked correctly. I think 2 weeks out of 14 weeks I picked the right 3 guys to play.
Because I gave you Drew Brees. That's why.
No, I've been playing Tannehill the last couple weeks, except for this last one. I picked up Ryan Tannehill off the waiver wire and I played him 3 weeks in a row over Drew Brees.
Oh, there you go.
And he was killing. Up until this Monday night, and then Brees blew him out of the water. But it didn't matter. So San Francisco, Jay, number 1 versus the pass. LA Rams, number 9 versus the pass. That's why I was bringing up the fact of these Rams receivers, because you're playing these guys against a number 1 passing defense, only giving up 154 yards in the air. And the way that Goff plays on the road, I just find it very hard to believe that you're trusting any of these guys. Like, I get it. Like, you have to play them if you have them. But 154 yards and Goff plays like garbage on the road. Somebody's got to get these guys the ball. I know they're good receivers, but the quarterback play is going to be a huge, a factor in this game. And if you think Goff has a bad game, how could you possibly feel comfortable playing Robert Woods or Cooper Kupp? Explain yourself.
He's not going to have 300 yards.
Well, that's for damn
So
sure.
even if he has like say 200 yards passing,
Okay. You have Higbee,
somebody's gonna get it.
Higbee, Gurley, Woods, Cup,
It-
and then a little bit of Brandon Cooks for like 15 yards.
It may not be Higbee because San Fran gives out the second least fantasy points to the tight end position.
Okay. So even if Higbee gets 25 yards, I'm just saying like people are going to get 20 yards, 30 yards, 25 maybe. That leaves none of these guys are going to get 100 yards. Is my point. None of these guys I don't see getting 100 yards receiving on 10 catches.
Is Sherman still out?
Who?
Sherman. Richard Sherman.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
That's the key.
Yeah, but
that's the key.
none of these guys are
Those
Julio Jones.
stats are with Sherman in the season, and now he's out. If he's out, it's a little like skewed.
Okay. It's a little bit what?
Skewed.
Skeeved. Okay. Well, I don't have that issue. I'm looking through my head. Besides Brandon Cooks, I don't own Woods or Cup in any of my championship games, so I don't have to make that decision. I do own Gurley, and I'll have to make that decision when the time is right. For us, we're gonna do our wheel of punishments on just the last game, and I won last week, so that's why Jay's getting punished over here with the watch your mouth. Jay drew the first pick this week, and Jay took
George Kittle
for Jay. I went Jimmy Garoppolo and Cooper Kupp. And Jay went back with 2.
Jared Goff. And no start.
And no start Mostert. I went Gurley as my last pick. So for James, Garoppolo, Gurley, and Kupp. For Jay, Jared Goff, Mostert, and Kittle. We still have one more week of this. So this will be the second to last week on the punishment. Do you want to spin the wheel?
No, I'm not going to have Astro next week.
There's no Saturday games?
There is Saturday.
Oh, we might not be recording.
There's no Saturday games here. There's no Saturday and there's no Thursday.
So every game's on Sunday?
Uh-huh.
All right, so no more punishment. This is the last one. So watch your mouth. Ended up being the grand finale. Maybe we'll do like a
There's no Monday night game either.
No Monday?
Nope.
No Monday night game or
0.0.
0.0. Yeah, every game's on Sunday.
Yeah.
Who does Oh, never mind. I think they all play division games, right?
Yes.
Everyone plays their division.
Yes.
Got it. I was thinking. So the biggest game of the week then is going to be Philly and Dallas this week.
This week.
That is how much are those tickets for that game? You think it's in Philly, huh? Yeah, it's in Philly.
I'd never go.
You would never go?
Not to Philly, no.
What if it was in Dallas?
I'd go to Dallas.
It's in Philly though, right? How much are tickets? It says right there in the blue.
$175.
$175 just to get in the stadium.
Yeah.
Damn.
To get shit thrown at you.
Well, I wouldn't wear Dallas Cowboys
No,
though.
thank you.
I wouldn't go with you if you're wearing Dallas Cowboys.
They might throw it at other Eagle fans.
Oh, they might throw it at their own fans.
Yeah,
that's possible
never
too.
know.
Anything else you want to add to the Thursday night triple threat that's actually on Saturday night?
No, Saturday edition in the Ducks.
I don't like playing Thursday night players, but Saturday is completely different to me.
It is.
Because you get the extra 2 days rest, and I don't think it's as bad as the Thursday night.
It's not. It's an extra day of rest. Extra 2 days rest.
Extra 2 days rest. There you go. Anything else you want to add?
Let's crack it.
Let's crack it. Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, wait, aren't you going to use this?